Destiny 2. Really, just Destiny 1.5. Hey everybody, Steven here, and I was talking to someone yesterday, and it got me an idea for this video, in that I've been hearing a lot when Destiny 2 was revealed at the reveal event a couple months ago, that a lot of what they felt and saw and played from the Destiny reveal event was almost Destiny 1.5, and it was getting thrown around on the internet for a long time. And I had a conversation with a couple friends last night, and I had a friend I had not talked to in a while, and he got on line, and I asked him, I was like, hey, are you excited for Destiny 2? He said, yes, but, and this was the big but, and I felt as soon as he said but, I knew this was going to happen. And he said, I've seen what they're showing us has been familiar. It looks a lot like Destiny 1, so that has me worried. And to my other friend retorted, well, I don't get that. I don't get why people are saying, well, it looks like Destiny. Well, yeah, of course it looks like Destiny. It's Destiny. It's another Destiny game. And we had this about a fairly long conversation about, the differences between what makes a game a true sequel. And he went into Halo 1. He said the jump from Halo 1 to Halo 2. Would you say that is a considerable jump? And my response was, well, yes, because Halo 2 introduced kind of the online multiplayer component and really helped kind of almost kickstart that, that console online service. And he was like, well, Halo 1 had multiplayer too, but not on the level of Halo 2. Halo 2 kind of helped jumpstart that. And then he said, well, what about Halo 2 to Halo 3? Well, and I said, yeah, Halo 3 had Forge World, and people could design their own game modes and their own maps, and they could change up the rules. You could have that's where we started getting things like zombies, and so one guy had a sword and everyone else had shotguns, and obviously every time the zombie got somebody, they got another zombie on their team with swords, and they were really fast. So I would say that the jump from Halo 1, 2, 3, each felt like it reiterated on the last game in some way. And we haven't seen a Destiny 2 yet, so we don't really have a lot of comparison to kind of compare those two. Not to mention, we're not going to really go into Halo 4 or 5, because that's when Bungie kind of took off, and that's where it's kind of become stagnant. But you could argue that Halo 4 is kind of really getting into like heavy story, but that's not this video. But when he kind of basically conceded my thought, I had come to the realization where I started explaining that what people were saying when they said it feels like Destiny was that, and there's a couple videos out there as well, where they say you still load into strikes. You still go to orbit, your ship is still a loading screen, you just click to go into a strike, and you go through a loading screen to go into the strike. And people, I'm assuming, were expecting much more for the sequel from Destiny. People were expecting to just walk into strikes. I know I kind of was looking forward to when they were going to talk about the reveal. I was like, I hope we can go in and just from the overworld, you could just say, hey, that's a strike over there. We just discovered that. We should go do that. We should go do that thing right now. And it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening. So it was more that people are looking at a game reveal like Destiny 2, and they're being shown by Bungie things that we already see in Destiny 1. And you could argue this is for the people who are staying consistent with Destiny 1. These are things that the people maybe want to see. The biggest iteration we've seen so far that's live gameplay is the 4v4 Crucible. It originally was 6v6 in Destiny 1, but is being moved down to 4v4 for Destiny 2, which I'm fine with. That's a nice big event, but it is still just Crucible. Yes, it is a game mode, but it's just another Crucible game mode. They haven't talked about, can we design our own maps? There's no private launches, there's no private servers at launch, so there's none of that at launch. We're going to not be able to build our own maps? Can we design our own game modes? Can we do something crazy like Forge where we can have rules and have people no weights, or people are super fast, or, we have Mayhem mode where you can supercharge everything? We don't know anything about that, and Bungie's been kind of tight-lipped with about a little bit almost less than a month to go before the sequel launches, and we're gonna have the beta coming up in about 2.5 weeks almost. So we haven't seen a ton from Crucible besides just a new game mode, and that's 4v4. Everything's gonna be 4v4, so Trials of the Nine, if that's to believe what the new Trials mode is. We've seen a strike, and it's a strike, you go through, you shoot a lot of guys, there's a big guy at the end, you kill it, and then you get some gear, and then you're done. That's kind of what we have now for strikes. We have not seen anything about the new open world stuff. So we haven't seen any of the lost sectors or these kind of like, oh, you're gonna go find treasure maps and you're gonna find points of interest and there's gonna be NPCs. We see small snippet videos in the reveal trailer of like, you know, somebody, a guardian talking to a guy with a sniper rifle who looks like just a dude who's out in the wild trying to survive, and you go do something for him. But we haven't seen any of that in action. So the big response to Destiny 2 looks like Destiny 1.5 is that a lot of people are looking at Destiny 1.5 and saying, this looks too similar to the last game. And so far, Bungie has not shown us anything that's new to the game. It still looks like I'm going to have to go in there, and I'm going to have to grind out to get ready for the raid in 3 weeks, or whatever the time limit will be on that. And people don't want to do that. People want engaging gameplay along with engaging world exploration and narrative-driven focus. And it looks like we're going to get some crazy story coming up. But we need more. Bungie needs to show more. And I don't think they're going to show us a ton with the beta so close. People will be able to experience that, in which case I hope in the beta they'll show us a good portion, not a good portion of the game, but the big issue was in the first game they showed us too much of Earth, and everyone did Earth in the beta, and everyone completed Earth, and everyone thought that there was going to be more to Earth, because they're like, oh, we're not going to show us everything in the beta game. They got to wait till the end game. But when the actual game released and everyone went back on Earth, everyone said, oh no, crap, we've already done all this before. We completed the entire planet. So people kind of felt a little lied to or a little gypped. And I don't want that to happen for the next beta, so I'm hoping if they show us a good chunk of the first planet, I'm assuming to be Earth, it would be nice to let them say, like, oh, well, for this, we will be cutting off 50% of the open world area for Earth. And so then we can see the map in the beta, and then we go like, oh, that's a pretty big map. And that's only half of it? Okay, that's cool. I'm fine with that. But they've not really been that transparent. Hopefully they're that transparent when the beta comes up. I really hope the beta is not just what people have played at the reveal events and at E3, which is just a strike, a multiplayer mode, and you can play a story mission. Because for the beta running for a good chunk of time, like almost a week, that's not going to tide people over, and they're not. I don't think people are going to have enough. People who are coming back into Destiny 2 aren't going to be super thrilled. And they're going like, well, it doesn't look like there's much that's changed. I don't think I'm going to do this again. Because Bungie has to convince those people. They've already convinced the people who are the diehard fans, me, a lot of my other friends, Miss 5000 Watts, Dado, all the people you're seeing on YouTube. They're going to get the game. Because they love the game, I love the game, and we want to see where it's going to go. But for the people who dropped off early in Destiny 1, they played the opening, story mode. They hit level 25 with their light level when light was a thing back then. And they just said, I don't want to grind anymore. The grind is too hard. I don't really care about the raid. I don't have 5 people I'm going to do this with. So I'm just not going to do it. And they dropped the game. And I have a friend on my friends list who did that. They played up to level 24, got the Stranger's Rifle, did like a couple strikes afterwards, did maybe a little bit of Crucible, but then just didn't feel engaged enough in the game, in the story, in the world. They just didn't come back, ever. Those people have to be convinced by Bungie to give them a second chance. If they come out with a Destiny 2, and Destiny 2 does not bring in those people, unless Destiny 3 is going to be radically different, I don't know that those people will ever come back to the game. Because they're going to go like, well, it looks like it's Destiny 1.5. It looks like it's a big $60 DLC. It doesn't look like Destiny 2. So hopefully these people will give Destiny 2 a chance. They'll play the beta because it will be open. I have a video. I'll put that up in the corner somewhere where I kind of talk about the dates and stuff. But Bungie really needs to knock it out of the park with their messaging for the second game, because they may not get those people who left originally back for a third game unless it's different enough to come and play your sequel. So that's all I have for the video at the moment, guys. Sorry if it's a little bit of a rant. I just was talking to the guy yesterday, and I just had this for an idea, and I was like, I have to get my 2 cents out there to try and explain why people call it 1.5. Again, it's not because they think it doesn't have a lot of stuff. It's just that the Bungie stuff that they've shown us is stuff we can already do now and doesn't look radically different. Hopefully Bungie in the future will explain a little bit more about the overworlds, the planets, and maybe the overarching story in general. But thanks for tuning in here, guys. I will talk to you later.